Rawr.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. There's more of us this time.
Yay, we multiplied. Yes, we multiplied, and we are back again with another Crazy Crew vlog. And I am Cat T Critic.
I'm Y2 Staller.
I'm One Sap Morn.
I'm Willow. I'm Gigi. Hi.
So this week's movie, we watched Sinister.
Ooh.
It was okay.
Yeah, I kinda agree.
It was drab.
Very slow.
Yeah, it's one of those, not stabby gore horror movies. It's one of those, psychological thrillers.
With gore thrown in.
Once in a while.
Just a lot of jump scares, basically. Very basic stuff.
Yeah, if anything, it's more than a mystery than an actual horror film. But there are horror elements, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to give the synopsis?
Why bother? It's just... Come on, you guys know the stories. Family moves into a creepy place. Creepy stuff happens.
And this guy is the head of the family is an author who writes these I guess true like these true crime dramas.
Yeah, like
sure.
Based on true events, that kind of thing. And he's one of the Ethan Hawke's character is the guy who's obsessed with this one thing, and it's bringing everybody down, like it's bringing his family down.
So it's basically like every other haunted story, The Shining, all that crap.
And it becomes so fixated on that one thing, and that and he has to figure it out.
Yeah, and his family's pretty much tired of it already before the movie even starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, because the difference is like the kind of like different thing they try to add into it is that he's looking into the murder of a family that happened to live in the house that he lives now, because that's a great idea, moving into a house where a family was freaking murdered.
And nobody is happy with him doing that. Not his family.
The family doesn't even.
The family doesn't even know, but everybody else knows, and they're like, we don't want to be associated with you. We
don't take kindly.
Do us a solid and get out. And we don't want you. We don't want you depicting our citizens.
Granted, we never see.
No, we never do.
Ever.
We never do.
You see the sheriff and a deputy. That's about it. There's nobody else. And the family.
Yeah.
That's
it. They don't really change locations that much. It's mostly just inside the house and then back at their old house. Mm-hmm. That's about it. But, basically, what happens is that, a guy is looking to research about a murder that happened in the house. And the first thing he sees when he moves in is a box labeled Home Movies. And he's thinking, well, maybe these were left behind by the previous family. And that's not the case at all.
I love the names on
until he finds out that he sees all the movies that are all like different families and
it's literally just VHS, the movie, another rip-off of VHS where they find.
Well, it's actually a projector.
Yeah,
no. A movie called VHS. The same story where they find films of people being killed. Mm-hmm. It's like the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have the first movie, Hanging Around, which features a nice family hanging out in the backyard.
Literally.
I love the titles on those.
I know, the titles were great. Well, actually, we don't even need to tell you what's on them. There's barbecue. There's
family
pool party.
Barbecue. Pool party.
Just take a guess as to what happens to all those. Lawn work.
Fire.
You can figure it out for yourself. And basically just bad shit happens as
pretty
always.
Much dark titles.
Yeah. Yes.
And also should we mention that like he has these he keeps noticing things that he does bring it up to one person, but then like never anybody else. The animals.
Yeah, first when he goes up to the attic where the home movie box is, there's a scorpion somehow.
And he drops a box on it and kills it.
And then when he goes back up the attic again, he finds a snake.
Watch out for snakes.
Although it would be scary if the snake was actually
venomous.
Venomous, which it wasn't.
Yeah, I think they were trying to make it like a coral snake, but if any of you ever like studied like animals, it's obviously a king snake, which is non-poisonous.
But yeah, he mentions it to the deputy so-and-so, which is the best name ever. And he says, like, I've seen this stuff in my attic, and they're just like, oh, well, whatever. You know, I should call an exterminator, I guess.
Maybe it's squirrels.
Yeah, he says that it's squirrels.
Yeah,
The deputy that goes between being smart and a complete derp.
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, that's one of the things, like, about the characters, is, like...
They're flat as fuck.
Yeah.
They're definitely flat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you know, they have that unfortunate, stupidity syndrome that a lot of people have in horror movies. You know, where if you need someone to be an idiot in order to progress the plot, that's what's going to happen.
That was pretty much Ethan Hawke's character.
Pretty much. Seriously, this guy is a fucking moron.
And he's greedy.
Oh, extremely. Cause
Oh, God.
I'm watching Ethan Hawke's character, and I'm just like, I just have, like, no sympathy. There's no sympathy for this character whatsoever. Not just because he's a moron, but the fact that he really just doesn't give a crap. He's just so...
He's so invested in his work.
He thinks he gives a crap. He really thinks he gives a crap, but
it's the classic. It's the character who's obsessed. Like I said, he's obsessed with this one thing, and it's bringing it down. But the problem I find with that is that I've seen it done in better movies and better horror movies before.
So
like The
essentially-
Shining, for instance, that was a good instance of a guy being completely, completely overwhelmed by his work and just, being destroyed by it ultimately. But, this guy, like, they kind of make it too obvious that, he just cares about the money and everything. They even go as far as to show, like, old interviews he's done, about books that he's sold, like, saying that, it was like, oh yeah, so...
I'm not doing it for the money.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for the money at all. I'm doing it for the justice, bringing justice to these people, and, because that's the ultimate goal here.
I thought he was doing it for exposition.
That was
there was a lot of exposition.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Literally the first 5 minutes are just exposition shit. Like when they move into the house, like we don't even know why they are. Yeah, she just says, "Why have we moved here? Because blah blah blah," and it goes back and forth with exposition. And then the sheriff comes by and she's like, "We don't like your kind around here." And he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you know what happened at this house. Why? Well, I'll tell you. It's part of the plot. Let's talk about it."
That's the one. That is a good point, because that was one thing that also bothered me when watching this. Is just like it's just that the script felt like it needed a rewrite.
It felt like it needed a jolt of electricity or something. It was so dull. It's literally all stuff you've seen before or stuff that you know about. You don't even have to see it without, like, you don't even have to see this movie. You already know what it is and what happens.
Yeah, there are a few good things, like a few interesting things that happen, but other than that, it's incredibly
Let's talk about that
slow.
what about that one home movie they said?
That was...
Well, before that, we should say that there's really not a lot of scary stuff in here. The movie relies
pretty much
a lot,
jump scares.
Yeah, relies a lot on jump scares, except for this one jump scare, which genuinely was a good.
Like, I was literally like, I almost applauded that one.
Should I say it?
It was one of the home movies. So
what it was what happened. There's this one of the last home movies he watches is.
Didn't they call it Yard Work or something? Doing yard work?
No.
It was something like that.
It was something like
Lawn
that.
work, yeah.
You see the family in this house, just sitting around,
Watching TV.
Watching TV, and they're doing stuff, and then all of a sudden it cuts to outside, where
in the
garage, and the camera moves up to a lawnmower, and they starts the lawnmower, it starts moving along. Now at some point you all can pretty much figure out that something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get decapitated.
But it's not quite what you think is going to happen.
No, it's not as easy as that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it just
all of a sudden, you see, like,
it's there.
It's just moving, and then there's this person right there, and they just cuts off.
Yeah. So that was actually the only really good scare. Everything else is just, there's a bump in the night, or there's... I noticed they did this a lot. There would be... he'd be walking around with his flashlight, looking around all freaked out, and the music would get really, really intense. And then he would look and see, there was nothing. And then the music would stop for like a few beats. And then you would get the scare. And that pissed me off. I mean, okay, it did work a little bit, but it's like, we already, if you have to stop the music, you're gonna know it's gonna happen. They did that a lot, too.
Yeah. Although I have to say, once they do that there's this one scene with the initial scare, and then they pretty much sort of keep it flowing. It's when they reveal the kids, like
that's part
the
of
kids,
the plot.
Well, when they first reveal it, they do a jump scare, and then they just sort of like from then on, it just sort of is like quiet, and it just sort of flows. Like you see kids running in and out, but they don't really try to like.
That was actually
scare you. Yeah,
that was so stupid and hilarious at the same time because
it's basically they don't know what the kids are. It's part of the story, I guess. It's sort of like Woman in Black, where just this monster kills kids basically, and so he sort of finds that out, and he looks through the house, and he has that initial jump scare, and then just keeps going, and it's basically just the ghosts of the little kids near him and running around. But the first kid ghost you see is like this.
That was scary.
And he doesn't see her. He just like turns around, and she's like this.
And then when he does turn around, it's like.
It's
just perfect, and they do that for like with all the other kids that
like
pop in for the next like 5 minutes.
That
and it's just
confused me.
Yeah.
I'm like, is drunk?
Well, I'm wondering, like, is he like not supposed to see them, or is he supposed to see them? But
I think he's not supposed to see them. It's just that it's in slow motion.
Well, he's not supposed to see them until it's too late.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see them actively chasing after him, and then when they see he's about to turn around, they run away.
I don't know. It's the power of.
And plus, there's a few like shots where he obviously should have been able to see them at least out of the corner of their eye, but he's just like looking around. And it's like, I don't see anything. Don't see anything. Oh, dead girl. Don't see anything.
Did we mention he was a moron?
And an alcoholic. He was also.
And one thing that should have been blatantly obvious that nobody mentions is that one picture.
Which picture?
The painting. The painting, at the bottom of the...
Right.
Yes.
When the ghost kids are all over the place, he goes to check on his living kids, and he goes to his little girl's room to see, like, oh, she's sleeping, but the camera cuts, and you see that in the corner of her room is a little girl ghost, and with, like, a really creepy painting on the wall. And you never see that painting again. Like, they go in the room later... It's not seen.
It's still there.
We don't... I mean, is it? I mean, it's not discussed. It's not...
Yeah,
noticed.
it's a big-lipped alligator moment.
It's just there. It's like she gets yelled at for another painting, but it's like in another part of the house.
And it's a completely different painting altogether.
Yeah.
Well, I think that kind of falls into... Because, like, one of the big things they talked about is that the kids, they were all from families that got murdered, but they were the only ones that went missing.
Yeah, that's part... I'm sorry. That's part of the story is that... There's this monster called... What is it? The
Kabul or something?
It's like
a pagan-looking thing.
Yeah, it's a pagan... it's like this...
Mr. Boogie.
Yeah, that's what they called it on the
It's like
drawings.
this pagan monster.
Deity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's it's called the Child Eater.
Yeah, it's
subtle.
And what it does is that it finds families and attacks. It possesses one of the children of the family and kills the rest of the family, and then that child goes missing. Yeah. And so that's why there are all those kid ghosts running around.
It's usually through images, which is how the projector sort of comes into play.
And that's one problem I find with that is because it's almost like they're trying to do The Ring. Like, I remember when we were watching, like, when Ethan Hawke started watching the footage, I'm just like, oh, great, now he's going to get a phone call that says he's going to die in 7 days.
That's one point at which I said, like, oh my god, it's a weeping angel.
Oh, yeah, I heard you guys freaking out about that.
That was the one scene where he's realized that there's a connection between the killings, and all of a sudden, the sinister guy, like he like
you see the film in the background,
and then he turns his head, he's like, huh? I think he's on to me.
Yeah, on his laptop is footage of the monster, and it's a frozen image. And then when he finds out the truth, the image actually moves. And I love its facial expression is almost saying like, oh shit, I've been caught. And then it's like, oh fuck, he sees me. Get back to normal.